All right, what is up? Welcome back to another Monday news video here. It is Monday, as I just said, so let's get into the news. Before we start off, we want to thank the Bronco buddies, the members of this channel, for contributing to supporting me, all that good stuff. Their names are here. Last week, I put out a little community post for just the members. I was like, hey, if you have any questions you want me to answer, put them out here, and I will get to them on Monday because it's kind of a slow news day, and that has kind of remained the same. So we'll get to those questions in a bit. Before then, though, I want to bring up two items of news, which are a little bit outdated. They were reported on earlier in June, but I think the time in which I would have talked about them, the 17 came out, so I was like, oh, this probably deserves a bit more attention. The first item of news is that the Mint Rollei 35AF is slated to come out in late September. So if you've not blown your wad on a Pentax 17, I would recommend saving up money and maybe getting one of those. Around $850, I think, is going to be the price, which, you know, I've heard good things, so who knows. The next bit of news is kind of good news. It sounds like Fuji is going to be producing film again, this time in China, presumably because lower labor costs, fewer emission guidelines, all of those stuff, who knows. I think that this kind of proves a bit of a thought that I had in earlier videos, where Fuji is recognizing that film production really isn't the financial backbone of their company so much as the X series of cameras are. I think they just make so much money off of that, a lot of money off Instax. And while yes, the 35mm film is fantastic, as noted in my last video where I talked about how much I enjoyed Fuji Velvia, for the amount of cost that goes into it, it doesn't really yield as good of returns as some of their digital camera options do. So they might be bringing back some film, some 200 and 400 speed film. These are going to be more, as far as I know, like consumer, kind of like the C200, C400, I believe it is. So that would be nice to see. Hopefully, can be a level of competition to help bring down more of Kodak's film prices, because I also sent out some more film today. And I'm going to do like a little bit of a rant here. Just a little bit, because this might play into a video I release later this week, or it might not, but I just want my thoughts to be kind of known about it, because it fucking popped up last night, and I think it's fair to share. I'm not mad, isn't the right word, because I'm not really mad. I think it's just like a continual disappointment, so we'll get there. I use Darkroom for a lot of my developing. They're very fast, consistent, and unless I kind of mess up the film, they usually do a really good job with it. They did raise their prices about $1, because it was $12 for developing and kind of standard scans. Now it's $13, which, you know, whatever. I'm not upset with them. It was a little bit kind of like, feels oddly petty, I guess. And they also raised the shipping price, because it was $5.95, now it's $6.95. But anyway, so that happened. That's fine. I finished up the roll in the Pentax 17, and I was filling out the order form last night, putting it in there. And fun fact, this might not be for all shops, but for Darkroom, if you are developing half frame 35mm, it is an additional $6. So it is $19 to develop and get scans. And yes, you are getting double the photos, half the quality, but double the photos. So, you know, whatever 72 photos of a 36 roll, if you buy the film, I think I shot Fuji 200 speed film through that. I got the 3-pack, I think it was, for like $24, so about $8 a roll plus 19. So we're looking at $27. Okay, $27 for the film and for developing, plus the $500 of the camera. We'll hold on to that, but $27. and then 72 frames. So whatever the math is there, price per frame, you get the picture. The point being is, and this is kind of my frustration, is that, and I guess frustration's not, it's a disappointment, I guess. The whole component of, hey, we want to produce a medium for film photography to like be rejuvenated, to bring it back and stuff, then introduce a $500 camera, and then introduce a film format that a lot of shops do develop, I'm pretty sure, but they might charge extra for. And I don't know if this is all shops, but darkroom is a pretty big, like it's a pretty big part of the industry, I would say. That I know a lot of people who use it, and I'm sure other shops have like certain stipulations for half frame, because I know it's like, it's an added level of step for them to, you know, scan it properly and stuff. So it might be more of like a point of annoyance for a shop because it's not the standard that they're used to. And again, I think it's just kind of a further disappointment in the decision making here. Now, I did get a couple comments last week on when my Pentax 17 video review will be done, and I was thinking like maybe by Friday, like this past Friday. I recorded a bit of it, and as I was kind of watching it back over, I was thinking, you know, I kind of want to do something different for this, because I feel like I have a lot of thoughts on it, and I want to deliver those thoughts in a very succinct and like meaningful way, and not just like sound reactive, and not be like not have the, you know, oh, you just fucking are trying to be cool and hate the new thing, because I'm not trying to be that. I'm trying to be honest with my evaluation and assessment of the system and all that goes into it. So I want to take my time, make a bit more of a thoughtful approach video, and I'm hoping to at least have the filming wrapped up this week. Depending on when I get the scans back, I want to do a reaction to the shots that I got and go from there. So could be later this week, could be start of next week, we will see. But I promise that it will be as good as I can make it, because I don't want to belabor the point, as it were. The half frame thing, I get it, but it just was kind of like, come on, like, why are we continuing to make these things expensive? Let me get some water real quick. I'm dying. Over the weekend, I saw the video of the guy who like chugged the gallon of lemonade in whatever it was, like 21 seconds. And I think that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, yeah, human beings, man. It's getting pretty hot, so I'm going to wrap this up very quickly. I want to address the member questions, though, make a little Q&A segment. Again, shout out to the Bronco Buddies for contributing and also asking some questions. I'm going to go through briefly a few of them here. The first one, caffeinated or decaf? Let me tell you, dude, I am a fiend for the caffeine, okay? I have a addiction. I just straight up have an addiction to caffeine, but only from coffee. I'm not a big energy drink person, not a big soda person, pretty much just black coffee for me. Every now and again an espresso is kind of nice, depending on where I'm at, depending on stuff. I don't really like Americanos because I think it kind of defeats the purpose of both things. In my mind, an espresso is just something you kind of have, versus coffee, which is something you kind of sip. And I think espresso takes the worst parts of both of those and combines it together. Watered down espresso shots, whatever. Decaf coffee to me is kind of the same as like non-alcoholic beer, where I guess I get it why people want it for the flavor and stuff, but in my mind I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose, where I would like to drink coffee so I am not as tired and my brain isn't as foggy and I can think a bit more clearly. I don't necessarily enjoy coffee all the time for the taste of it, for the subtle notes. I have a very, terrible palate, I think, is a great assessment. I'm not able to discern the different flavor notes and profiles and stuff, so really just whatever kind of coffee I can get is fine by me, but preferably caffeinated. Next question, has there ever been a Pentax serial number database? I don't know, genuinely. One of my old coworkers was like a Pentax technician, and he knew a bunch of stuff about it. I'd just be like, hey, check this out. He's like, oh, I think this came out from this time. Or I'd be like, hey, what is this little thing? He's like, oh, I think that's from whatever. I have some notes that he told me, but nothing like too concrete, nothing I would feel comfortable about saying this is the official database. I don't know if there's an official one. I don't know if there's one that's been compiled over the years, but that'd be cool. So if anyone watching knows of one, comment it down below and I will pin it. I got another really good question for recommendations on mechanical and meterless SLRs. I think I'm going to make a separate video out of this one, to be honest, because there's a little list I have in my mind of just really nice cameras that I enjoy using, and in my mind they're kind of like as pure and straightforward as an SLR experience can be. Something like the Asahi Flex, which I shot with recently. I've got a video coming out on, I think, this week. I really did enjoy that experience. The Minolta SR7, I think, is one of the nicest looking cameras in my opinion. It actually popped up in a show that I was watching called Bodkin. It's an okay show about like a murder podcast in Ireland or something like that. And one of the ladies has a Minolta SR7 or SR5, I think it was, that she was shooting with. And she's like, oh, shooting on film or whatever. And I was like, I see you. S1, S2, S3 series are nice. Some Miranda cameras are pretty nice as well. The Yahagi cameras, when they work, they're pretty cool. I'll make a little list. I'll make a separate video for that. But that is a good question that I would like to revisit a little bit more earnestly than just off the top of the dome here. Next question. Have you ever owned or worked on any Bronicas? My baby, my child. This is my Bronica. I don't remember what model it is because I got it for $100 and I look it up every time because I'm like, I don't even know what this is. I think it's like the C6 or something. C6? I don't fucking know. It's a 6x6. It's really nice. It has a 50mm lens, which translates to like 28 thereabouts. So it's a nice wide angle. The lens is a bit of a petri dish, but it is what it is. Takes pretty sharp images. Can't complain too much. I got that. It didn't work. I kind of messed around with it a little bit, and it has worked just fine ever since. I'm very bad at loading film into it properly. Most recently, putting 2 rolls of film into it and shooting on them backwards. So that was an awesome thing. Anytime I think like, I'm getting this thing figured out, like I'm so cool and so good, stuff like that happens, and it just kind of brings me right back down to earth where I belong. Next question. These ones are from the same person and they're semi-related, so I'm going to kind of answer them together. Have I used the Reveni Labs spot meter, and have I tried the Reveni Labs shutter speed tester? I remember you talking about it, but I don't know about its quality and efficacy, efficiency, workingness, whatever, fucking big words. It's also really hot in here, and there's no fan. We have like the cool light fixtures and stuff, which is great. Love those things. We got like a really cool one in the little living room area, but no fans. So I'm a little toasty, not thinking properly. But the Reveni Labs stuff I've not tried. I talked about the shutter speed tester when it was announced, and I think it's releasing soonish. I want to reach out to the guy because he commented on the video and I was like, hey, thanks for talking about it. And I'd love to try to get my hands on it and test it out and just kind of see. I think it's really cool, ultimately. The shutter speed testers that I've used that are more official than the one I have and whatnot, they're really nice, but fuck me, are they expensive. Like, it's not a affordable thing to really get into. So to have an option out there, I think it's $750 or something, $750 Canadian, I think. That's pretty nice, and it's new, and there's support for it. Like if it does break or if you have any issues with it, you can reach out to him. Good company to buy stuff from, and I don't know. I have no dealings with him officially or professionally or anything like that, but I am down to try. The spot meter I've not tried. I have the Reflex Labs little meter, and I kind of like that. I shot with it a little bit. Honestly, I usually just use the meter on my phone. Anyway, I think that's it. Last week was a really good week. Thank you all for watching the videos. We are going to be working really hard on pushing out some other content this week. I've got a video planned for the Asahi Flex, another video on another camera that I'm not going to name. I want there to be some level of intrigue and surprise here. We've got a little repair video that I'm hoping to put out as well. We'll kind of see regarding the other stuff when film comes back and whatnot and go from there. This evening I'll be shooting with a buddy of mine and starting a new series of videos that I want to be working on. So when I get that all shot and developed and edited, that will be coming out soon, but definitely make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that, because I have a few videos in mind that I kind of want to make regarding the same abstract idea. And so this is going to be the beginning of that journey, I guess. But yeah, anyway, that's all. It is so I need to get some air going in here. Once I get the air conditioning going, and we got like a little portable one here, once I get that going and the fan going, it's fine, but it just does not good things for the audio quality. So in the effort of trying to make this video somewhat watchable for you at home, I'm sacrificing, okay, I'm losing water weight, but it's all worth it. It's all worth it. Anyway, that's all. Thank you again for watching. Appreciate it as always. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. Join the channel as well if you want the opportunity to ask me questions that I then go on to try to answer to the best of my capabilities. You also have access to exclusive videos and early access to other videos as well. That is all for now. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it as always, and I will catch you on the next one.